Coming up on Fulton Today, we'll tell you how juvenile court and the child welfare system join forces to help save troubled youth. And find out what brings the nation's new Health and Human Services Secretary to the county. Fulton Today starts right now. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm HIVAIDS. It's been nearly a month since lawmakers at the state capitol have been back in session. So where do the Fulton County priorities stand now? FGTV's Priscilla Ortega joins us for this story. Priscilla?
Shania, some of the bills the Fulton commissioners have expressed an interest in have already been pre-filed here at the Capitol, while others have yet to be introduced. In the meantime, while the board is paying close attention to what happens here with state lawmakers, they've also started a new kind of relationship with mayors from all over the county. In an intimate setting at the Hilton Hotel in downtown Atlanta, members of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners informally met one-on-one with other elected officials from cities within the county.
We have talked about an overall strategy in terms of the service delivery strategy, what the county does for the cities on behalf of the cities of Fulton County. So we talked about how we're going to address some of our issues and concerns that we've had in the past. That's number one. Number two, we talked about developing an economic development strategy for the entire county. How can Fulton County work with the economic development departments of each of the municipalities in a coordinated, collaborative way?
The purpose of the inaugural luncheon was to build a relationship with the mayors so that later all could formally engage in areas of common interest.
I've been with the City of College Park in my 20th year as mayor. And this is the first time I ever remember having some function like this to all come together. I do remember we used to have quarterly meetings, but some of the chairmen would come and some of the commissioners would come, and sometimes it was sparsely. And I'm proud to see us all coming together for common goals for Fulton County and all the cities.
The county's lobbyist team and legislative liaison stepped away from the Capitol so that they could be introduced to the mayors.
There was a lot of collegiality and excitement about working together to serve all of the citizens of Fulton County, no matter where they live.
The plan moving forward is for the Fulton commissioners and the mayors to meet in a formal manner at least once a quarter. The bagged luncheon was well received by the mayors. At least 9 of them out of the 14 cities were in attendance. Meanwhile, the new Board of Commissioners have added their items to the legislative agenda. One includes a homeowner's bill of rights, and the other has to do with 911 fees for cell phones. Now, to see how any bill is doing here at the Capitol, you can go to legiscan.com/GA. Reporting from the state capitol, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
Thank you very much, Priscilla. Meanwhile, the deadline to enroll in the Affordable Care Act is next week, February 15th, and national and local leaders want to make sure that citizens have the right to sign up. Health and Human Services Secretary Sylvia Burwell stopped by the health centers of Georgia to make sure citizens understand the process.
The issue of access and reducing that number of uninsured, getting that number to go down. And we know that in 1 year in the nation, we saw that number reduced by 10 million.
Fulton's chairman was there to lend his support. Secretary Burwell also held a roundtable discussion with navigators and counselors. By the end of open enrollment last year, over 15 million Americans who did not have health insurance now are covered. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office joins more than 24 new jailers to keep our communities safe. Ceremonies were held for the graduates.
Do hereby solemnly swear and affirm.
That I will
support the Constitution of the United States.
And the
Constitution of the State of Georgia. So help me God.
So help me God.
These new jail officers successfully completed a 2-week training program. The training included a lot of physical fitness, understanding inmate rights and supervision, along with searches and security.
They run the gamut of defensive tactics. They start with defensive tactics. We cover ethics and professionalism. We deal with sexual harassment. We teach them about health and wellness, how to deal with stress.
Despite the hard work and intensive exercise for the graduates, it was a journey worth completing.
I'm looking forward into, of course, doing the overtime, moving up in the system, and just really getting in there and just doing what I can.
The state certification now allows graduates to work at any jail in the state of Georgia. Help is now available for youth in foster care who commit crimes and are then sent to juvenile court. Now, the county has been selected to participate in a national program that is designed to improve the lives of these children and their families. The Honorable Willie Lovett is here now to talk to us about this opportunity. He is the presiding judge in juvenile court. Sir, welcome back to Fulton today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, Judge, tell me about this program that I understand is called the Dual Status Youth Technical Assistance Initiative. How was the county selected to participate in this initiative?
Okay, so this is a grant, a national grant given by the Robert F. Kennedy Foundation out of Washington, D.C. And 4 jurisdictions were selected. We applied for the grant. We were selected as one of the jurisdictions to receive the grant. And what this grant does is it provides a year of technical assistance and support in terms of dealing with children who are both committed to defects custody,
right,
and they also have criminal charges against them.
Well, let's talk about that then. I mean, what is the issue in terms of how many foster kids or children in the system have some type of crime or delinquency issue? Let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's really a serious issue in Fulton County. Since 2010 through 2014, we had over 1,000 children who are what we call dually committed, meaning that they have criminal charges being addressed by probation or the Department of Juvenile Justice, and they also are in defects custody. So they have abuse and neglect cases that have gone through and are now in defects custody. So what happens is you have a child basically without parents, and their parents are the state. But you have the state serving as their parent for care and support, but you also have them dealing with delinquency charges.
So let me stop you here and ask you, in terms of outcomes from this program, what are you hoping we'll see?
Well, right now we do a terrible job of dealing with dually committed children. Often you see 1 week the child has a defects case, the next week the child has a delinquency case, then the next week they're back for a defects case, the next week. And what you have is the department coming in, shipping children from Augusta, from Columbus, from Savannah, having to ship the children back and forth to court every week to deal with different issues.
And this will do?
This will, under this initiative, we hope to get the state working together, DFACS working with the Department of Juvenile Justice, DFACS working with our probation department, so that instead of wasting resources, when the child comes for one hearing, we could do all of the case together. We could do the criminal, we could do the dependency, we could do it all together. And that saves everybody time. And what you often see is that we'll do referrals in the delinquency side of the case, but you also have similar referrals on the dependency side of the case. So in essence, the state is paying for 2 psychologicals, 2 psychiatric evaluations, because it's happening on different sides. But if we work together, we can get all that in one pot and just do it once.
Well, sir, this sounds like an amazing opportunity. Sounds like good news for the court. You are always very responsive when we call you. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me again. I love talking to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, again, juvenile court is always in need of volunteers. You can contact 404-613 888-888-4455 or contact them via email to see just how you can get involved. And still to come, some of the best medical minds meet in Fulton to discuss HIV and AIDS. It's a part of our district by district coverage next. The topic of HIV and AIDS gets the attention of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, and another commissioner expresses good feelings about a positive 2015. Here's this week's district by district coverage. We begin with Chairman John Eves as he sits down with members of the HIV/AIDS Task Force. The at-large commissioner recently hosted the group of medical professionals for a face-to-face conversation about the strategy for this year. Georgia is ranked in the top 10 states for the rate of new HIV and AIDS diagnoses, particularly in metropolitan Atlanta. Health officials have been working overtime to address the issue right here in Fulton.
Today we decided to work towards a Fulton County strategy in terms of how we can work together within our county, the various entities, the various stakeholders to address this terrible issue right here in our county that is to a certain degree correctable. So it's a very good meeting, very robust. I'm very excited about the prospects of something very positive coming out of it.
Fulton's health outreach teams host several community fairs throughout the year to provide HIV and AIDS testing and counseling. Health officials say the way to combat the problem is for people to actually know their status. District 2 Commissioner Bob Ellis says he is quite optimistic about the future of Fulton County government. The North Fulton Commissioner led the motion for the 2015 budget vote, a vote that was unanimous by the board. He says all taxpayers should feel positive about the direction of this board and the county.
Everybody generally wants the same thing, in a lot of respects. They have different priorities and they have different needs, but they want to see, one clear message to me was they want to see our elected officials seek to work together, try to bring all those competing priorities together and act as, in a responsible way and try to bring something forward that's going to represent the overall best interest of the county.
The first-time board member represents the North Fulton areas of Alpharetta, Milton, Roswell, and parts of Sandy Spring. In District 4, ladies who didn't fully understand the game of football got a lesson just in time for the big game. Just days before the Super Bowl, female members of the senior facility were taught the fundamentals of the game. Presenter Leonard King gave a breakdown of the four-quarter pastime during the clinic.
I like football. I want to learn. I have a little cousin that was playing football. I think he may start back. It's very interesting to know, not just look at the game, but know the game, and what position the players play and how determined and how their sportsmanship is played out.
American football, as we know it now, started in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The game was fashioned after the early versions of rugby. And finally, in District 6, Commissioner Emma I. Darnell welcomes constituents to her new office along Fulton Industrial Boulevard. The South Fulton Commissioner and her team will be accessible to residents who want to communicate about various issues and concerns. The office is in the South Fulton Service Center at 5440 Fulton Industrial Boulevard.
We know that it is extremely important, even during this age of texts and cell phones, that we develop and maintain our one-on-one relationships with all the people of Fulton County wherever possible, and especially those who are residents of District 6. So I'm pleased to announce that we will have a new location for our one-on-one conferences this year, and it will be at the 5440 Fulton Industrial Boulevard location.
Now, Commissioner Darnell has always had office space along the boulevard, but now her new office location in the building is more conducive to handling the business of her community's needs. And when we come back, how to get the most out of your exercise campaign this year. Stay with us. workers are warning the public that sexually transmitted diseases are rapidly increasing in Fulton County. Fulton's Communicable Disease Division says that Georgia ranks #1 for syphilis cases, and Fulton County has the highest rates in the state. Now, county health leaders say in many cases, people don't recognize the symptoms of syphilis.
It comes in different stages. The first stage would be the primary sore, where they would have an open lesion and it doesn't hurt. It's painless and they can pass it on. That's a stage when they're highly infectious.
The second stage appears like a rash or chicken pox on the palms of hands and bottom of feet or other parts of the body. County health workers encourage safe sex practices like using condoms, and those at risk should get tested specifically for syphilis at their regular checkup. And you can get more information on testing by calling Health Services at 404-612-1211. Well, this week the county joins the nation in recognizing Wear Red Week. The Go Red for Women event is to bring awareness to the #1 killer of women, heart disease. According to the American Heart Association, 1 in 3 women die of heart disease and strokes each year. The Healthy Heart Coalition of Fulton County hopes to change those statistics by encouraging people to exercise more and eat a diet rich in fresh fruits and vegetables.
The community can be empowered to make these changes, and the behavioral changes are up to us, and that together we can create the change that has to happen in order for us to be a healthier community.
The coalition says heart disease is still Fulton County's main cause of death for both men and women. To learn more about the coalition, go to healthyheartcoalition.org. Well, if you said you were going to start working out this year, we are now 2 months into the process, and we know that starting a workout routine could be just a little bit intimidating. So, Recreation Specialist Robin Parson, she's here now to give us a couple of tips.
Hi, I'm Robin Parson. I'm here at the Fulton County Employees Fitness Center, and today I'm going to share with you how to get started with a fitness program. We're going to first start with a simple stretch. Now, if it's your first time, the first thing you want to do is definitely warm up your big muscles in your body. When I say big muscles in your body, we're talking about your legs, of course, the heart. So I'm going to do a simple stretch for you, so pay attention. You want to just simply bring your right foot forward, and we're just going to lean forward, and what we're doing, we're just stretching out our quadriceps and our hamstrings, just to get the body ready, get the blood flowing, providing oxygen, and just really just relaxing into your stretch and your workout. So you want to always hold your stretch for at least 10 seconds, okay? And there's another one. That was for the leg. You can also do a simple hamstring stretch. You can always use equipment and just simply bring your hand to your ankle and just stretch your quads and just again hold it for 10 seconds. Great. Awesome. Okay, and another stretch is really good. A simple, I call it a runner's lunge, bringing your right leg back, make sure the torso is nice and straight, and just put your hands on your waist, make sure you have balance, and just hold that stretch right here, again, for 10 seconds. Good. And let's do the opposite leg. Same thing applies. Hold it. Remember, all your stretching should be at least 10 seconds. Now, you don't want any really rhythmic stretches in the beginning because you want to get the body used to getting the blood flowing and just actually becoming more comfortable with your stretch. Please remember, it's very important to start any workout with a warm-up. Got to get those muscles nice and active. Next time, we'll get you ready to start a cardiovascular workout. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Robin. And still to come, children are taking a bite out of learning. We'll explain. Popcorn and cotton candy turn into educational tools at the library. The Big Thinkers Science event at the Sandy Springs branch taught elementary school age children about heat at Adams.
if you have kind of a mixed group of kids. If they're mostly little kids, you have to go kind of really simple, just kind of explain, like, one of my favorite analogies is that, like, atoms are kind of like the Lego blocks of the world, because most of the kids have played with blocks of some sort, and then can kind of envision, like, atoms, like, building things.
The experiments included using heat to make popcorn and cotton candy. To get a list of all of the fun and educational events geared towards children, just go to afpls.org and click on the event calendar tab. And finally, a local newspaper recognizes one of our own for all of the work that she has done for the library system. Ann Haynes is named Newsmaker of the Year by the South Fulton Neighbor. The newspaper awarded Haynes the title for her efforts in the Atlanta Fulton Public Library system. Haynes retired just last week, just as she was leading the major construction and renovation project of 8 new libraries and 2 renovations.
To me, it's an honor, not just for me, but for the library system and for the library building program. It shows that the citizens of South Fulton really are excited about the library building program, and it's been noticed.
Ann Haynes retired from the county after serving for 40 years in the library industry. We are so going to miss you, Ann. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook, and watch us anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.